From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
I think one thing that you've all spoken to is this idea that some people see as like the magic of librarians, and they almost think that they just know all of this information, as opposed to what you're saying is you know how to get to that information. Mm-hmm. And I guess what I'm wondering is how much of that getting to the information do you share with the patron, as opposed to just I'm looking for this, oh, here it is. How much do you share the journey, I guess?
I'm happy to show them the journey. I mean, it's really great to give them the tools and to show them subject headings or search techniques or something, because the smarter they are, the better. I mean, the faster they'll get the information. I assume you're the same.
I share it all the time, which makes my answers really, really long, because I'll even tell them the things I've looked at that I didn't find it, so they don't go and duplicate that kind of searching. So, you know, we're teachers too in our own way, and so we want people to learn tools that they can use in the future, not just for that one question.
Right. And my team actually staffs a chat service here at the library. We're one of 2 areas that have a chat service. We do it 2 hours a day, Monday to Friday. And one of the great things about chat is that we can interact live with patrons. So when they submit us a question, we can actually conduct a reference interview with them at the same time as they're looking for the information, and pretty much share with them the search process that we're using live to find the information for which they're looking. And so we can kind of conduct that kind of search and give them some real-time insight into the search strategies that librarians use to find information. And I think they find that very helpful.
And I think I picked up on a phrase, maybe Tom's a little more familiar with it than I am, but this reference interview, could you talk to me a little bit about that? Might uncover what that means for me, if you don't mind.
Yeah, a lot of times when people come in, they either don't want to tell you exactly what it is, or they're not sure how to say what they want. And so I call it permission to be nosy, permission to just ask them questions and find out more about what they want, because they often don't know how to explain it, and it just lets us into what they're trying to find out. And I find that my biggest problems come when I assume I know what they want, when I don't ask enough questions, when I don't listen carefully enough. And I don't know if you would add to that about the interview, but it's asking a lot of questions.
Right, it's asking a lot of questions, it's being receptive and listening carefully to what a person has to say, and then based on that information, asking the appropriate types of open-ended questions to kind of mine down and figure out exactly what they want. Because more often than not, the original question that a patron comes to us with is not the question that they actually really have.
And sometimes part of that interview isn't just getting at the subject, but how much information do you need on this? Do you need a full biography, or is a biographical article in one of the dictionaries on reference going to be okay for you? So also deadlines, you need to know how soon do you need this, that kind of thing. Right. So
Now,
all those are pieces of a reference interview.
Right. One of the challenges I've found, and maybe you have it too, is that with Ask a Librarian, it's often extremely difficult to conduct a reference interview, because a person will use one of our web forms to submit us a question, and there's no easy way for us to quickly clarify what type of information they're really after, or how much information they're after. So oftentimes you have to engage in a rather lengthy correspondence via Ask a Librarian, or sometimes I've actually found just picking up the phone and calling them directly is the easiest way to go in a situation like that.
That's what I often do. I pick up the phone and say, I just need to know a little bit more, because I could type for a long time, but it's just so much easier if I could just talk to them. Right. And they are often surprised that the Library of Congress is calling them, but then they realize that we're human beings too, and we are just trying to help them. So I find those really fun, actually.
I've actually had replies when you said we're human beings too, where somebody wrote back and said, gosh, I didn't realize a real person was going to be answering this question. I think they thought we were Google behind the scenes and just going to do it.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.